So I think I'm just going to go with my gut here. I just started a new business venture with a young man named Will Giangrande, nice Italian boy. And he is the founder of the Next Gen Playbook. And we are collaborating on a project that we have named I'm Getting Too Old for This Shift. Love that name. We're writing a book, we're creating courses, we're going to be doing workshops, we are going to be consulting for organizations, we're going to be doing public speaking. Who knows, maybe there's a TEDx talk in there somewhere. The reason for said partnership is because Will had come up and conceived with this idea in order to help facilitate communication between generations within the workplace. And I was introduced to Will through his father, who has been a friend of mine for a bunch of years. And Will is a recent graduate of Loyola University on the West Coast in Los Angeles. And I'm a graduate of Loyola University on the East Coast in Baltimore. So we immediately hit it off, and Will started telling me about his business, Next Gen. And it just rang a bunch of bells for me. All of the issues that he was discussing through his workshops and his projects that he had been consulting on were things that I had experienced. So when we met, it was kind of a really exciting meeting of the minds. Today, we just had a 3-hour long brainstorming session. We named it I'm Getting Too Old for This Shift. And I'm going to walk you guys through where my brain is right now. And you're going to help me launch this business endeavor. I'm going to show you how I conceptualize these businesses and how we go about executing lead generation, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and then eventually close. And I'll probably have to fast forward and cut a bunch of stuff, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's start with the whiteboard. All right, whiteboard. Let's see if I can find you. All right, new whiteboard. So I'm sharing the whiteboard. In the whiteboard, I'm going to attempt to create a little bit of a funnel here for you guys. So the top of the funnel is going to be webinars, free webinars on Eventbrite. And the reason for that is because we want to hit a general global audience. We don't want to just be local to Westchester, New York, although Westchester, New York is wonderful. We want to be able to get our message out to a lot of people, and people that might not necessarily be decision makers within their organization that would hire us, but people that are thinking about the topic, dealing with the topic, lamenting over the issues that the topic causes. How do Gen Xers speak to Gen Z? How do Gen Xers get Gen Z to come into the office on time? How do Gen Z tell Gen Xers to go take a hike when they get upset with them? And all sorts of fun stuff like that. So webinar for free. Eventually, we're going to create an ebook titled Getting to This Shift. Absolutely hysterical title, which I adore. Once we get people into that funnel through the webinars, again, free webinar. The only conversion that we're going to have is, hey, set a meeting with us. Let us know if you want to talk. So meeting is the second level of that. The ebook, when people download the ebook, we're going to create a form, and then that's just going to be lead generation. So if they hit our website, they're going to say, isn't that interesting? Now, a couple of things that we had to do that were even further up top is I need to create a website, and I need to say that it is a partnership, Next Gen and Torque, and why we're doing it, introductions and all that fun stuff. That might be, maybe that's a little bit more dominant here. Now, the key for all of these fun things is that we need to be able to capture lead data and build an email list. The email list is critical for a business like this, or a partnership like this. If we don't have email addresses, we can't put together email drip campaigns and have evergreen content so that we're always top of mind for anybody that interacts with I'm Getting Too Old for This Shift. So great, the website. We're then going to create Zoho forms that will allow for when somebody downloads the ebook and we have that lead generation, the form will then go into a Zoho campaign. And that'll be an evergreen campaign. So we'll have an email drip, email 1, welcome, then we'll wait a day, and email 2. And what that might be is perhaps it's a recording of the webinar. Let's see, webinar. Oh, well, obviously they're going to get the ebook, right? So when they, we're going to have them download the ebook there. And then maybe email 3 is a personalized note. Email 4 is just going to be some generic content that we're going to create. And then maybe email 5, we may say, hey, if you want to hire us, check us out here. Super simple, generic onboarding. We now have the lead. We know that we're going to, interact with them, and we're going to analyze. We're going to see how many opens, how many clicks, whether people are forwarding this, where that's going. Now, the webinar and then the call to action for a meeting is similarly going to be feeding that lead generation top of the funnel. So meeting will hopefully convert to cash. Now, if they don't take a meeting and they sign up for the webinar, we're going to shoot them an email anyway. We're going to say, hey, we're curious about what you thought about the webinar. And similarly, we're going to have email to, these are going to be separate email buckets because we want to create appropriate lists that are going to be sorted and segmented because that is direct marketing at its best. We want to segment those lists so that we speak to each of the lists in different ways and we make sure that everybody is happy. Okay. So this is the top of the funnel. This is the stuff that I'm going to be working on in the next week in order to make sure that Will and I put our best foot forward. We're going to have Zoho is going to be the vendor for the emails. The lead generation form is going to be embedded on the website. The ebook is something that I'm going to create using AI and an outline of the presentation that Will has already done, the webinars that Will has already done, our collaboration on what our webinar will look like. Then they will hit the Eventbrite webinar, free webinar, and hopefully we'll have about 200 or 300 people join that. Now, things to take into consideration. That free webinar we might want to promote, but we don't want to spend any money just yet. That ebook is going to take time and effort, so we might not be able to promote it just yet. So when we're going to create the website and the partnership, how do we create the website and the partnership? Let's talk about that. So let's shut down the whiteboard and let's get into how we're going to go about doing the real deal, Holyfield, and let's create the thing. Let's start off with showing you Will's LinkedIn profile. Look at that handsome fella. Let's just taking a look at that. This is the Eventbrite page. This is super simple. You're going to go into Eventbrite, shift. Now, you need a subtitle. I already asked ChatGPT what the subtitle was. Let's see if I can go there. Generational communication. There we go. All right. So here are the options that ChatGPT gave me for the subtitles. I was pushing it this morning. I wanted it to, actually, you could see my line of questioning, some of the details that I asked. I said, let's go back because these are interesting. Name a book that helps people navigate the differences in generations at work and how they can communicate better. I was thinking Mind the Gap. I spent a year in London. I was thinking Mind the Gap would be good. Professional and insightful. They gave all these different options. I said more play on these. Think of a play on sayings that indicates age. Can't teach old dog new trick or long in the tooth. Entitled brats, etc. Kind of looking for conflict and friction. Gave me some more ideas. And I said, I want sales. Punch me in the face with a short one that is clever with words. Now, I have to mention that ChatGPT is also already trained on me ad nauseum. So it knows how I think. It knows the things that I like. It understands the things that I'm attempting to accomplish. So came up with some really good ideas. You're not old. You're out of touch. Stop blaming Gen Z. Start leading. Old dogs, new rules. That's pretty good, actually. Boomers and Zoomers, same circus. Kind of funny. And then these are the super punchy. Too old for this shift. Number one. So good. Grow up, calm down, communicate. We may use these in different ways, but I really wanted to go with the subtitle, How to Bridge Generations and Finally Get Work Right. I think that is really good, simple, strong, and universal. But we want friction, why generations clash, and how smart leaders bring them together. That's it. So that's our subtitle. Again, top of the funnel stuff on Eventbrite. Let's see, what did we decide? We said it was going to be 18th. I think that's what we agreed on. Well, I hope you agree. Let's see, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. I do recommend doing webinars lunchtime, no matter what. This will be a Zoom. It will be free and total capacity. We're going to say 500. Let's get ambitious. We're going to create the event. Tickets are free. Eventbrite is fantastic for these types of top of the funnel free webinars. You do get people outside of your ecosystem. They do tend to want you to spend a little bit of cash with them in the advertising, which is perfectly fine. Cool. The event is ready. We're going to go back and we're going to deal with we're going to create some content, some imagery, and maybe some videos. And maybe I'll do a welcome video and say, hey, this is what we're about. But I've done 438 events. I've got about 1,200 followers. I think we can, we'll probably be able to get a couple of people there. I think it would be good. So that's the Eventbrite page. That's top of the funnel. Let's keep tinkering around with some of these other details. So I was thinking that we need to talk about, let's build the website. So let's stop sharing this and let's start sharing Lovable, because Lovable is basically become my new version of WordPress. I'm going to show you what I'd already created, but we're going to try and recreate it as well. So I use Lovable for a lot of my websites. It's super simple. You could just go in and you could tell it to do different things. I went in and I just gave it some instructions here. I'm going to show you on the upper left-hand side. Build a site called I'm Too Old for This Shift. The site will house online courses, a blog, webinars on demand. The site is focused on bridging the gap between generations in the workforce. It must be dynamic and modern. Boom. Came up with this. Beautiful. Not perfect, but beautiful, right? Featured courses, cross-generational communication, leading multi-generational teams, tech bridge, digital skills for all ages, our perspective from a blog piece of content, learn from the experts, stay in the loop. Now, critical to this is going nowhere. You have to go ahead and you have to set up all sorts of different connections. You have to go into the cloud. You have to make sure that any of those emails are being forwarded to you. The easiest thing that I've seen is just going into Zoho. Not Zoom, Zoho Form. Let's see, we'll go into Zoho. Go into Zoho Forms and you create your own embedded piece of content. So I was calling that Too Old for This Shift. So this is a form that I built a little bit earlier. First name, last name, email, phone, website. Actually, I'm going to make the phone non-mandatory. I do recommend that you only ask for first name and email. A non-mandatory phone is good. You may get some, but you don't want to force people into that. I just think it's kind of lame if you're forcing people to give you their phone number. Now, also, what you want to make sure is the integration, right? So if you're leveraging Salesforce, you can integrate with Salesforce. You can kick this out into a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. You could put it into Zoho campaigns. That's the key. That's the thing that we're going to want to make sure happens, right? So when we integrate this form and it goes into Zoho campaigns, select the portal to proceed in. That's my portal. Select the workspace. That's my workspace. Select the mailing list. Now, we don't have a specific mailing list for this. I have to go into Zoho campaigns, create the mailing list, and then I will make sure that it syncs up with this content. But that's how it becomes super powerful and actually quite easy for us as marketers in order to go in and build that. We're going to leave that. We'll come back and we'll fix it later. But when we see this and we say, okay, let's share it. How do we share it? Public? Are we going to track referrals? Or are we going to embed it? So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to embed it. We're going to take the iframe content, we're going to copy that, and we are going to make sure, we don't want it to be a pop-up. That might be annoying. Let's see. Add this Zoho form to collect. All we have to do is give Lovable that code, let it think for a second, and we're going to go and we're going to create a I'm Too Old for This Shift logo, which I think will be pretty interesting as well. Let's see. I'll update the newsletter component to embed the Zoho form. It's updating. You can see that it's thinking right now. Let's take a look, see what it looks like. There you go. Stay in the loop. Too old for this shift. I hate when it does this. It's you have to kind of scroll to see that. Let me just try this. Make sure it fits. Scroll. See if it understands what I'm saying there. There you go. All right, increased it a little bit more. First name, last name, email, phone, website, click apply. Boom, you're staying in the loop. Now we go ahead and publish. The key to this is if you're publishing from Lovable, you need to own the domain. I purchased a very cool domain that I'm going to show you in a second. When you go ahead into Lovable and you create something cool like this and you go and you click on publish, you say, what's the website information? Okay, let's add a custom domain. Oh, well, not yet. We don't want to share that work. We want to publish it to a very specific custom domain. So we're going to add an existing domain. Obviously, you can see here it says I'm too old-hub.lovable.app. That is what it created. I'm too old for this. We just made them numbers instead of full words. And I do own that on GoDaddy. So it's going to connect with GoDaddy via Lovable. Super simple. I'm going to authorize it. And then we should be ready to go. And voila, boom, configured. We now have a live website. Click publish. And now here's the exciting thing. This is live, right? It is a live website. Some of these links are probably not going to work. You have to go in, you have to debug a lot on Lovable, but for all intents and purposes, we've got a live site. I'm Too Old for This Shift is already up and running. I'm going to go into the about. We're going to create a really cool about page and we're going to do all that jazz, but not right now. But that's already completed, which I don't know. I've been in digital marketing for 30 years and it's incredible how AI can make this stuff happen so gosh darn quickly. I think it's very exciting. So that's it, folks. That's the top of the funnel stuff that I just created. We did the Eventbrite webinar. We created a form on Zoho. We created the website using Lovable. We published it and we embedded the form within the actual website. I purchased the URL through GoDaddy and we're off to the races. I'm going to create the email drip campaign and put together all that content in the next video. Be sure to check back and come along for the journey with us. We're going to kill this. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I'm getting too old for this shift. See ya.